there. It's the Machine of Nonsense, episode 187, and we are talking the Oscars. The Oscars are today. We are recording the day of the Oscars, and if you listen to this the day it's published, you will be listening to it the day of the Oscars. That is March 2nd, 2025. The 93rd, I think, Academy Awards. Might be 97th. I don't know. I should have probably looked it up. I'm your host, Eric. 97th. Man, we got the big 100th coming up soon. You heard the voice of Mike. He's with me today.
Hello, guys. The stars are out tonight. Get here early enough on the red carpet. Gene Hackman's dog walker. Over there. He's looking for a gig, I think.
Oh boy. And the biggest star of them all, Kayla.
Hello everybody. Poll please. Do you know what the glam bot is and the man with the curly hair? That's at all the red carpet. Glam bot. The slow-mo camera.
Oh, yes, I have seen those.
Mike knows what it is.
Mike knows what it
Eric
is.
has no idea. I'm like, this has been a thing for years.
Oh, really? I just seen it recently because Lady Gaga at the Grammys was on it, and she's like, "Yeah, I know what this is. I know what to do."
Yeah,
and
yeah. And the guy, he's always the same guy who's doing him. He's got this long curly hair.
He looks like Blake Anderson from.
Introduce himself to Bob Dylan or something. It was kind of, or some very old celebrity, and it was
trying to explain how it works.
Well, I also need an explanation. Kayla shamed me for my lack of Glambot knowledge.
Glambot.
I love the Glambot videos. Oh my gosh. It's my favorite thing to watch. The SNL ones were so good.
Maybe that's what it was. He had to
probably explain to...
Yeah. Oh, maybe to Lorne Michaels.
Maybe.
No, he knows what they are. Lorne Michaels is with it. That man.
I don't know. That's an old man who may not know Glambot. I don't know.
He hired it.
Yeah, we will be talking about our actual ranking of the Best Picture nominees today. That'll be our grand finale of this episode. If you want to know the actual best movies that were released in 2024, you should go and check out the Nonsense of the Year Awards. Those are all on YouTube and your favorite podcast app. If you haven't checked those out already, that's the real, top 5 movies that were released in 2024. We're going to talk about the Academy of Motion Pictures version of best movies, but the real one has already been released here into the world. Before we get to Best Picture, general vibes. I know, Mike, you only got to 5 of the 10.
Yeah.
A lot of them were very unavailable this year for different reasons. Kayla and I had to lay on a weird bed and stare up at a cinema screen to see I'm Still Here. That was a unique experience. We went to the theater by you.
I got used to it. Yeah. I got used to it. The part that had me really concerned, I'll make a quick note about it.
Cuddle chairs.
The cuddle loungers, I believe, is what they call them.
I think they got Eric because they're cheaper, right? It's $17 for 2, and Eric was like, "Hell yeah!"
And it said cuddle loungers. I'm like, I'm with my honey. I want to cuddle, and I save $3. Hell yeah, let's do that.
But it's under the fucking screen, and we're watching a foreign film that I have to read and watch. I'm like, oh god, right? But it was fine. I worked it. It was fine.
It was a unique experience.
It was. Well, first sitting down, I was like, oh god.
Mike, what did you think about the Best Picture nominees this year, grand scale?
I think it's a really good year. There were so many. I missed half of the nominees, but there's someone like Nickel Boys. I've only heard great things about. Really want to see it. Brutalist is like, man, I heard, it's like Killers of the Flower Moon, which I still haven't seen. Like, man, it seems like such an investment for something that, man, what if I don't walk away with this, like, coming to Jesus moment or something? I'll feel like, why did I do this? Which I don't really feel that with, like, I don't know, games or other stuff like that. So that's weird. But,
that is funny. Yeah, it cost us, I think, $25 to watch The Brutalist at home, and we now own it. But which is a significantly less of an investment than like your standard $60, $70 video game.
Yeah.
But yeah, it feels different in some way. I think you're 100% right.
Yeah, the fun to dollars ratio is different, I guess. I don't know. Whatever weird algorithms in your brain.
It's odd. It really is.
I know you guys seen all of them. What did you guys think?
Yeah, I want to take your. I feel like I have a pulse on some individual movies for you, Kayla. Like just because we did little postmortems, like how did you like The Brutalist, etc. But overall, with the 10 in totality, what did you feel about them this year? I guess I'm going to name them first, just in case anyone listening isn't actually familiar with the 10. I should probably name them here. So in order of alphabet, I will try to I've got an alphabetized list here. I should just use the one I have in front of me. All right. So the nominees for Best Picture this year for the Oscars are Anora, The Brutalist, A Complete Unknown, Conclave, Dune Part 2, Emilia Perez, I'm Still Here, Nickel Boys, The Substance, and Wicked. So we saw all 10 of those movies, Kayla. What did you think overall?
It's kind of a mixed list when you do read them all in a row like that. You have from a scale of, like, let's even just use Conclave, which is just kind of like a quiet, heavy dialogue, heavy acting, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's not that there's not acting in Wicked, but Wicked is just such a like bombastic, lively performance.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and not that they're not performing, but you get what I'm saying.
A musical versus a drama, like a quiet drama versus a very loud musical.
Those are so far on the opposite spectrums. And then you throw Dune in there too, which is a little bit of both, but sci-fi. And it's just kind of, it's very interesting. We've talked a lot about how expensive this Oscar season was to watch a lot of these. So many of them I feel like are so unheard of. Like for film people who try to keep up with things that come out all throughout the year, I've never heard of Nickel Boys. I never heard of I'm Still Here. I guess those really the only two that I never heard of, but
until we watched them, basically, yeah, essentially,
right.
yeah.
I guess it kind of always happens in Oscars, and I can appreciate that because it broadens, more films for us to watch that wouldn't be in our normal repertoire. But I wish more people would watch them. All the times we did go to the theaters, there was quite a lot of people in there.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool to hear.
I thought I'm Still Here would be just us in our cuddle lounger, but that was kind of a packed theater.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
I mean, it's a smaller that it was at the Imagine in Portage, so that's a smaller theater. But it was a packed, however many, there's 30 chairs or whatever else. It was probably 25 of them were full or whatever. So
podcasters in the Portage.
yeah. I mean, and that's a movie in Portuguese, a historical drama in Portuguese. So it's like I figured, okay, we are going to be the only people in this theater, and it's like, nope, okay.
There was a group of old women in there.
Those theaters don't have a lot of seats either.
No,
they don't.
the new seats that they have very comfy, but they take up the space of like 3
Yeah.
normal shitty seats. So
good theater though. I enjoyed my
yeah,
time there.
yeah.
In my cuddle lounger. I'm gonna keep using that term for forever. The cuddle lounger.
But for me, I always took the nominees seriously.
Mm-hmm.
Even as a kid, it always meant like gospel to me. And as I get older, I've kind of, it's not that important, but it always is like, yeah, these were the 10 of the year. There's always one or two or 7 that you want to switch in, but I don't know. It's nice to have this official thing for almost 100 years. Like,
yeah, I agree.
I don't know.
Even just to talk about of like what were the 50 years ago, what were the best pictures, and compare them to what they are, today. Like it's cool. It's a cool experiment.
And I kind of do have that thought about this year. Like when you do look at some of the Oscar movies this year, they are weirdly in tune with what's happening in our like world today. Like you have one about like trans rights, you have one about foreign people coming to America, you have one about, check my list, war and people trying to leave their country because it's under war and it's terrible, and
like sex work,
and sex work and Hollywood and
flying monkeys,
and
like the big things,
and also the completely
yes,
the even the complete like detachment that you can use Wicked for, of like, I'm just gonna completely step out of the world and go into a nonsensical fantasy world because my world is crazy. Wicked fits into that kind of timeline right now too.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and even Wicked, like if there is a message in Wicked too. There is a message of like
I love it.
Yeah. I mean, there's several messages, right? Like there's female empowerment. There's like othering of animals and people and people who are different.
Paying for national park services or something, protecting the animals,
something
maybe?
like that. Yeah. So it's a cool. I think it's a wild list because you've got like a sci-fi body horror movie, The Substance. You've got You've got Dune 2, a huge blockbuster sci-fi movie. Then you've got like Nickel Boys, The Brutalist, Conclave, that all kind of fall into that like historical drama type, like a very Oscar-y type, Oscar bait, kind of, and A Complete Unknown. I don't think I mentioned A Complete Unknown, a biopic. And then you've got like Amelia Perez and Wicked, which are musicals, but like probably couldn't be more different in concept, I would say.
I mean, is A Complete Unknown a musical kind of
too? A ton of music. I mean, it's not a musical, but it is a...
There's so much music in these Oscars.
Kind of
yes, exactly. It's what propels that movie, in my opinion. I mean, I'll talk about it later, but I enjoyed the music quite a bit in A Complete Unknown. So yeah, very musical year. I don't know, but and then I don't think I mentioned I'm Still Here. It's a historical drama, but it's in a foreign language. So we got 2 foreign language films. Amelia Perez is mostly in Spanish as well. So like, it's a wild list. It's a lot of fun. Before we get into the Best Picture nominees, I figure we could go over at least some of like the acting categories. Maybe we can touch on some of the writing categories, screenplay and stuff like that. I guess I don't know. I'll start with we'll go with actress in a supporting role, right? The supporting actress nominees. So we got Monica Barbero for A Complete Unknown. She played Joan Baez in that one. Ariana Grande in Wicked. Felicity Jones in The Brutalist. Isabella Rossellini in Conclave. And Zoe Saldana in Amelia Perez. As I watched more of these movies, this became a harder question for me. This is like a for me, this is maybe the most stacked category overall, honestly. Do, do you have I mean, I don't how many of these did you check out, Mike?
Amelia Perez, Isabella Rossellini in Conclave. That might be it for me. Wicked. Ariana Grande. So I guess Zoe's like the favorite on the one. So if she gets it, she's doing a lot in that thing. I don't know. This is like, I don't know, Vicky Barcelona when what's her name? Javier Bardem's wife. I can't remember.
Penelope Cruz.
Penelope Cruz, thank you. She won Best Supporting Actress. It's like, what is that movie? Who knows? But she was in that thing, you know. So,
Penelope
we'll
Cruz
talk more about
good.
Amelia Perez. What do you guys think? I know, Eric, you were impressed with Joan Baez.
I was. I thought, I mean, I don't know the first thing about Joan Baez, her music, her career, anything. So I'm just taking what I learned in a complete unknown. But I know that Monica Barbaro, I don't exactly know how to pronounce her name, but that she did at least all the singing, maybe all of the guitar playing as well. I know Chalamet really did everything as well. And I thought it was a great performance. I thought the songs were really good. Felicity Jones in The Brutalist has a really kind of tough part, I would say. Like, she's kind of that, like, Emily Blunt-esque, like, from Oppenheimer. It's a very similar, like, scenario. But honestly, as much as I love Emily Blunt as an actor, I think Felicity Jones played that same type of, like, second fiddle woman to a great man role just better in a lot of ways. And
I like that thought.
Yeah, it's a very, I mean, to me, it's very, I think Oppenheimer and The Brutalist are very similar movies in a lot of ways. And like those roles are similar, but I think Felicity Jones did a really good job with it. I think Zoe Saldana wins it because she's got all the juice. I think she's won like the version of it at other awards and stuff like that, and she's, like you said, she's doing a lot. She's singing, she's dancing, she's speaking multiple languages. You know, like she's doing the most probably in this list. I think there's a huge snub in this list, and I know, Kayla, you would agree. In Nickel Boys, Anjanou Ellis Taylor, it plays a Hattie. She's the grandmother of kind of the main character, or one of the main characters, and she should have been nominated because she's very good in that movie.
Just love her so much.
Yeah. And
speaking of snubs, if Demi could get the juice for Substance, I think Jackie O'Brien, right, is from Love Lies Bleeding.
Oh, Katie O'Brien. Yeah.
Is that Katie O'Brien?
Yeah.
But the character's Jackie, right?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
And, I thought she was great and could have been in this 5.
I think also in terms of like the Substance and Demi Moore and everything else, I think Margaret Qualley was amazing in the Substance as well. So I think she's worthy of a nod here. I think it's just a stacked category this year. What do you think, Kayla, as far as those 5?
I'm getting sick of Margot Qualley, I will say.
I know you are, but she's doing a lot in Hollywood right now. You know, hey, Nepo baby.
I really liked that thought that you had about Emily Blunt's character in Oppenheimer next to Felicity Jones from The Brutalist. She just has way more. I mean, both of those movies are long as hell, but she just gets more screen time, more weight. It is a stacked cast. I am like really impressed with like what Zoe Saldana did. I constantly think about the like award. I don't think it's an award show, but whatever like benefit song.
El Mal.
I constantly think about that. Oh, I love it.
That's a badass song. That's a good song.
So I can give it to her for that.
Yeah. I don't know any of the words to that song, but it still plays in my head.
Yeah, same.
Constantly.
I just make noises.
Yeah.
We're Zoe across the board.
I think so. I think she wins it. Like for me, it's like with a hat tip maybe for Felicity Jones or Monica Barbaro. Like I think I'd be happy with any of them. Actor in a supporting role, the male version of the same award. We got Yura Borisov from Anora, Kieran Culkin for A Real Pain, Edward Norton for A Complete Unknown, Guy Pearce for The Brutalist, and Jeremy Strong for The Apprentice. Did any of us, I know me and Kayla did not see The Apprentice. Did you happen to see The Apprentice, Mike, at all?
No, just clips here and there of people like saying he should win it. Actually, Jeremy Strong. Like there's some strong heads out there.
I mean, he's Jeremy Strong. He's a guy.
He's just playing the same thing he plays in
Succession, probably.
Right? I mean, he's just like a
business guy,
big businessman, right?
What you've been saying about Kieran, because they're both, Succession boys, and I push back on. I thought Kieran's performance was really great, and that's like if Roman like a different universe version of Roman. I think if any is the closest I could get, because I think it's a lot.
Roman
There's a lot.
Wasn't in that family. This is who he'd be.
Right. And it hit me a lot. I thought Eisenberg was great in the movie too. I thought he should be on the 5. The Anora vote. My boy Toros should be the one with the nomination. I feel
100% agree on that one. Yeah, I think it's a weird nomination for Yura Borisov, and I think he's like people have him as like maybe the second. Like I think Kieran Culkin probably wins this, right? But like I think they're like Yura might win it, like as an upset or something.
Just the favorite.
Yeah.
That'd be crazy.
It's so weird to me, but like he's got a lot of juice, I feel like.
Eric, I know you love Guy Pearce, right?
I love him in everything he's in, I think. And also he is a really detestable like villain in The Brutalist. He is an evil man.
Is he?
I think he's just a piece of shit. I don't know, but he's a good piece of shit. Like,
I love to see my boy Ed Norton here.
He just like brings you in, Ed Norton.
He's so warm.
Just the way he looks.
And that was Pete Seeger.
Yeah,
that was So I thought that was great casting when I first saw that teaser trailer months ago.
And I don't know if he did the music too, but he's got a lot of scenes where he's like playing banjo and where he's singing and stuff like that. And it looks good, at least, like whether he did the work or not. But yeah, he's just such a warm character in that movie.
I don't want the Anora dude. Guy Pearce was very good. He you bought it. You bought what he was selling. But I also bought what Ed Norton was selling, and I like Ed Norton for it too, I think.
But Karen probably wins it, right?
Oh yeah, I guess I forgot about Karen.
Yeah.
Because what I told Eric the other day, we finally finished watching all of the Oscar movies, and I was like, man, I feel like Kieran Culkin. I have that like. There's just so much. Like it's so bad. Like Oh, it was.
Gonna hang out in this airport for a day.
Oh God.
Just watch people.
Yep.
Not go back to my
So-
life.
Through the ringer a little
So-
bit. Yeah.
I guess that says something too when you're like, man, he hit it. He hit it right on the nose. That's how I feel.
Yeah.
So
As
I
weird
really
as
like
he
that
is.
flick.
dang.
So
Dang, that's-
I want it to win something, and if this is what it gets, it deserves it, and
Yeah.
he deserves it. So
I just want to see him up on stage again. Like he's such a weirdo. Like he could say anything, I think, you know.
Like Ed
I
Norton
hope
on
it's
stage
Brian
would be
Cox
real
somehow
good.
gives it to him.
That'd be fun. I think they should make Jeremy Strong give it to him, and then they just like fight on stage
Oh,
or
man.
something. I imagine Jeremy Strong is super pissed that like he's Mr. Method Actor, he's Mr. like, and Kieran. I think Kieran Culkin's just being Kieran Culkin for the most part. Like that is who he is.
The clips I've seen of that Apprentice movie just make it look like it's a 5-hour fucking movie. Like that's how it would feel. Like I don't
Yeah.
know. It's a tough hang
Yeah.
for me. So he'll get. I don't know if that dude keeps doing his. He'll get something eventually.
Yeah.
So.
He's got all kinds of Emmys for Succession. so.
Succession.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I always thought he was always my least favorite of the main kind of crew on that
Oh,
show.
interesting.
Honestly, I always loved. I thought Brian Cox and Roman and Tom Wamsgans and shit were
Mm.
so much better than
Oh, Wami.
that. But
All right. So Kieran across the board, I think, on that one, most likely.
yeah, that's an easy one.
Actor in a leading role, best actor here. Adrian Brody for The Brutalist, Timothy Chalamet for A Complete Unknown, Coleman Domingo for Sing Sing, Ray Fiennes for Conclave, almost called him Ralph, Sebastian Stan for The Apprentice. Once again, none of us saw The Apprentice, so can't really speak on The Apprentice. Or Sing Sing. I don't think any of us saw Sing Sing. Or did you check out Sing Sing at all, Mike?
No, I've definitely hovered over it on Amazon, and watched the trailer, and it's about like starts a theater within the sin, and looks very, very cool, very powerful kind of stuff. He's up for like a parole hearing at one point, and they ask, well, are you acting right now? And try to flip and he just looks the look that Coleman gives like makes me want to give him the reward in that trailer. Like I love that guy. He's really great. Whenever he pops up, and so I'm like, wow, okay, this is gonna take the scene to a whole nother thing.
And that movie's super interesting too, because like I think aside from Coleman Domingo, most of the cast are like actual like either people that were part of this inter-prison like program, or other, I think, current like convicts and stuff. I think they cast like actual real people who were part of this program and everything, this musical program. So that's just a cool concept. I feel like that concept really worked in Nomadland too, where you just see real people, and that's cool.
Remember that Oscars?
Yeah.
Some weird years there.
Yeah.
2019. It was like, man, the pinnacle of cinema 2019, and then God.
We had some down years. Yeah. We'll get back there maybe someday. Tarantino, get back on. Get back on making stuff.
Yeah. Hurry up on that play, boy.
I guess
but
Kayla.
I remember seeing Coleman in that Nola or Zola movie.
Zola,
based on that Zola. And he's like the pimp in that movie. And when he has to turn on evil pimp, oh my, it was like the most sinister shit. And he was like great at it. And it was like, whoa, this dude, who is this guy? And enjoyed him in everything I've seen him in since, like I said. But I haven't really, the only one I've seen is Ray Fiennes. Who I thought was great. I thought he was really good in Conclave.
Yeah.
But it seems like this is the 2-horse race between Brody, who's won most of everything leading up to this, but Timmy, who just had like a counterpunch at SAG, right?
Yeah.
So I love Tim. He's my guy right now. He's taken, the best actor belt from Adam Driver, I think, who is currently dethroned. I want Timmy to win. What do you guys think?
Did you watch the SAG Awards at all, or just the clips? Or
I saw his speech and was like, yeah, hell yeah, dude, I get it.
Yeah, me and Kayla watched pretty much the entire awards show, and it was a decent show. It was fun, but yeah, for me it's Chalamet. Also, I've been saying it on this podcast probably for 4 years at this point. Of like, I want Chalamet to do something where I just like fully buy in. I'm just like, I'm always 1 foot into the Chalamet pool, and I think this might be it because he's really freaking good. He made me interested in like the folk scene and Bob Dylan and like all of that. Like it just as much as I love Dune, I don't love it for Chalamet necessarily. But I did like A Complete Unknown, I think, because of his performance, his singing, his playing, his just like, he's a complete asshole. I assume Bob Dylan must be kind of an asshole. It's just good. I don't know. I thought he was great.
I agree. I want Timothy Chalamet to get it. I think he just like I mean, he sings all the songs. He plays the guitar. I think like he put in the work and it shows. And I liked that movie a lot better than the other ones I saw. So
yeah,
no love for brutalist love here, huh? Ooh.
It's brutal. Let me tell you, it's brutal.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I'm. Yeah, thank you, Kayla. Thank you.
You probably like it, to be honest. It's probably right up your alley.
Okay.
I'm not 100% sure of that, but you might like it enough, maybe.
I think he'd like it.
And Brody, honestly, I will say,
I think he'd like Brody.
He's doing an accent through the whole thing. He's switching between Hungarian and English, but with like this really like I think authentic accent. I don't know what a Hungarian accent sounds like necessarily, but like
AI, Eric.
Right? Yeah. There was some controversy.
AI assisted performance.
I think really? AI should win the Oscar then
for Adrian Brody's voice.
Something to do with the language,
apparently something like the ADR, the like the post production where he's not necessarily
clean stuff up.
With AI they clean some stuff up.
They edited it with AI. They've been using AI to edit shit forever.
Well, that's the controversy, and Chalamet has no such controversy.
What you talking about?
AI's in everything, okay?
Timmy had to add a nose, man. Shit.
Yeah.
He's up there, yeah. Like he said, 5 years of his life. Give it to the man. Come on.
I agree. He takes his shit seriously, but he didn't come to rehearsal for the SAG Awards. I mean, come on. You can't have it both ways, my guy. You either are committed to being the best, which means showing up to every rehearsal and every practice, or you're too cool for that.
Probably like, there's no way I'm gonna win this shit. So
he had to speak. He had like a presentation to do, and he fucked it up and was like, should have went to rehearsal. And I was like, motherfucker.
Oh well. That makes me like him more. Should have used AI on that shit. Fucking helped him out.
It was live.
Oh yeah, he was charming at least.
He was. I'm just busting his shit.
Talking about practice.
Because I do want him to turn up into rehearsal. Because that is how you become the best.
Does he need
Brody? Don't need it.
Want Adrian Brody to have 2 Oscars? Do we want him? Gene Hackman's got 2 Oscars. Rest in peace, Gene Hackman. to Gene Hackman's dog. Okay. Weird shit there.
We should give Gene Hackman's dog an Oscar. I think you're right.
Sure.
No, I think it's Chalamet. I think it should be Chalamet, and I hope we see Chalamet win this one. I won't be disappointed. Adrian Brody's good. I just don't think he's as good as Chalamet. That's what I'll say on that one.
And shout out to Sebastian Stan for breaking out of MCU, but still being in the MCU and figuring that out. That's cool.
Yeah, he's kind of the one, right? I guess Downey Jr. and Oppenheimer, right? But he already had a gigantic career previous, so
he could never have won that. But I don't know.
Yeah. Shout out to Stan.
Oh well.
Good. Florence Pugh does both.
And Scarlett's always been able to.
That's true.
Tap dance and both stuff
That's
too.
True. Yeah.
Shout out to JoJo. She's great.
Oh. Good stuff. Then final one, actress in a leading role. We got Cynthia Erivo from Wicked, Carla Sofia Gascon from Amelia Perez, Mikey Madison from Anora, Demi Moore from The Substance, and Fernanda Torres from I'm Still Here. Demi has
Fernanda. I want Fernanda.
Fernanda's really good.
I'm going first for this one.
Hey, I love it.
Oh yeah,
I love it.
The one I haven't seen.
I mean,
she's a force to be reckoned with.
She's
got like a Lily Gladstone kind of effect where she really doesn't say too much. You just read it on her face. It's like that mom that you just don't buck with.
They didn't give
got it.
Award. They didn't give the award to Lily though. So,
but they should have.
Oh.
And she's way more of a focal point. I want Emma Stone to have all the Oscars. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm fine with Emma having 2 Oscars. She's cool.
But yeah, I would say Fernanda Torres is way more of a focal point than Demi Moore seems to be running away with this one. I think people have said, right?
Isn't that crazy?
It is crazy in my opinion. I think it's a great performance, but she's only in half of the performance, right? Kind of.
But I think she steals. I don't know. I thought Margot was fine, but Demi is what really. I don't know. Demi doesn't have to pull a chicken wing out of her ass, but she has to put on all of that Crypt Keeper shit and fucking drag a body down the fucking. I don't know. This is for Toni Collette not getting nominated. This is for Lupita not getting nominated for Us. I don't know. If this is the one that's gonna get it, I'm fine with that. I thought she was great. I don't know.
She's probably gonna have a great speech, so that'll be fun. Demi is a good speaker. So,
but if Mikey gets it, I don't know. That's another Emma Stone kind of moment there. To me, of giving it to the it girl kind of thing right now. And I don't know. I like Anora more as I'm away from it. It's still not my favorite of his films, but I don't know. That Amelia Perez stuff with that actress,
yeah,
with her tweeting.
Yeah, that's such an ensemble too, where I don't think that character of Amelia Perez is that big of a character, honestly, in that movie, because Zoe's doing a lot. Even Selena Gomez is kind of doing a lot, and there's just a lot going on in that movie in general. And that one character doesn't stand out as much to me as Demi does in The Substance, or Mikey Madison does in Anora. Those are kind of forces of nature, I think, in those movies. And yeah, or even Cynthia Erivo, just her amazing, she's doing all of those Wicked songs as good as they've ever been done, whether you like the songs or not. She's still got an amazing voice, and she's fun too. She's fun with Ariana Grande. I think they make a good pair too. So yeah, tweets or not,
I don't think Wicked's gonna get any above the bar kind of awards.
I think you're right. I think it like had some juice for a while, and then everyone's just been like, maybe not.
Yeah.
So what are we thinking? Is this to me? Is this for? Well, you said Fernanda for you, Kayla, right?
Mine, yep.
You want the upset kind of come from behind winner?
Just was. It's another one of those that it was very good, but it's probably not going to win Best Picture, and you want some love to be out there. So if it's one way to get people to learn about it and go watch it, that's how we do it.
That's a good call on that. Yeah. I guess it's probably Mikey Madison for me. Just as much as I'll talk about Honora in a second here. Not my favorite film of the year. I called her a force of nature just a minute ago. I think she's like, she just kind of runs the show in that she's just a wild force of nature, I guess. I'll just keep using that. She's pretty cool in that movie.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, she when that movie makes the flip to kind of, I don't know, what do you call the second half of Honora? What genre? Just,
I don't know. Actually, I don't know.
Dark comedy?
Yeah, dark comedy, probably. Yeah.
You know, and the first half, she's just fucking on cloud nine. It's like the end of fucking Love Lies Bleeding. You know, that she has that feeling of euphoria happening, and then when that flip happens, and it's all crashing down. This dream that she had for like a week of her life becoming easy. She killed it. She's real great in that movie. But I think Mikey will have another crack at it. I don't know. Give it to me.
I think that's a good call there. Yeah, Demi's only got so many more bullets in the chamber, right?
And did you guys check out that Andrew McCarthy documentary that he did on Hulu?
No, I heard it was real weird.
The Rat Pack one. It is.
Yeah.
It is, and it's so, and I was so glad that like Rob Lowe and Demi are in that, and they're just kind of like, it didn't affect us really, man. So like, you know, like we figured it out. Like how to, like, I just don't think you had them not saying that, sure. But like him having to like that sorry for rambling, but that was such a weird thing, and for that to happen the same year that she's gonna win an Oscar for this thing, and it just really even puts the nail in the coffin of that fucking documentary and the whole meeting of it. Like, no, because there was an Oscar-winning actress out of that whole scene. Like, so good for her. Good for Demi.
Yeah. She's had a great career. So even if this maybe is kind of a career achievement award kind of thing, like, okay, cool.
That felt like the theme of the SAG Awards to me. It was like definitely a like, you have been doing this for a long time, so you deserve it kind of theme that was happening.
I agree. Yeah.
Especially with like the Jane Fonda award.
Yeah, you know. Right, yeah. I felt like Jamie Lee Curtis, that was like, you know, what was that last year for Best Supporting Actress? Yeah, I think that's gonna be like the moment of the night. I think is Best Actress. If it goes to Mikey or her, I think it'll be.
Either way, yeah. I've never heard Mikey Madison like do a speech or anything. She did the "I'm an actor" like intro for the SAG Awards and stuff, and she was solid in that. But I've never seen her up on the podium accepting award or something. So
I think she'll just be like, holy shit, like just shocked kind of moment. I think, and then Demi will just be like the like fine like kind of thing, and
she'll have a speech.
Would be great.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
All right. Do we want to go into Best Picture?
Sure.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Is that our final pick?
Yeah, unless we want to get into any
Yeah.
of the cinematography or anything else, best director. I don't know if we want to get into any of that or just go into best picture.
I hope Sean Baker wins Best Director. I
Mm.
think he's I think he's awesome. I think the movies that he's making, and I forgot who it was. I think was it at last year's show making the point of we can make $10 million movies, $20 million,
Yeah, who was that?
and whoever that was great. And Sean Baker's kind of the epitome of that. He's shot movies on iPhones. He makes really great movies and knows how to make them on a budget. I assume, Anora's probably the biggest budget he's ever had. But it's nothing. It's not like
I don't know.
$500 million Netflix piece of trash or something.
Cinematography. So that's like how the movie is chopped up and put together.
I would
So
say
that's
editing.
editing.
That's editing.
Cinematography, the camera shots, the views, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's tough because there are
Like Brutalist.
Yeah, so it's The
Sure.
Brutalist, it's Dune Part 2, it's Emilia Perez, it's Maria, which I don't know what that movie is, and then it's Nosferatu.
Oh man. Dune Ferratu.
How is Nickel Boys not on that?
Yeah.
What?
Nickel Boys is...
Nosferatu should win 3 Oscars.
I honestly think, I don't think it would win, but, like, Nosferatu is a cinematic, I think, ass movie.
Masterpiece.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's Egger's,
Beautiful.
like, thing. Like, he's just dripping with that style, right? So,
You got the drip.
But Dune looks so good.
Dune looks amazing, and there are some shots in The Brutalist that are really good, but I don't think they hold
That's what
up
I would think.
to Dune or to Nosferatu. I think I put both of those above Brutalist and cinematic quality.
The camera work. So that's not cinematography.
No,
or
that
is,
is
or
that's the camera work essentially.
the
yeah.
camera work in Nickel Boys is so interesting because it's mostly shot in first person or like
Right.
behind the back kind of third person or like in reflections, and there's like you're on a to make like time go by, they're like on a train and like skies, and just the visual aspect of it is so interesting. It's cool.
Yeah.
Nickel Boys is
I
interesting.
really want to see
No.
that one.
It's a snub in that category. I agree. And the biggest snub of all this year, I'm just going to put it out there, is Civil War. Should have gotten a nomination somewhere. I don't care what it got nominated for. There's plenty of options there. If you didn't want to, do Best Picture or whatever else, but Civil War was completely snubbed at the Oscars. And figure your shit out, Academy. Okay.
Did Alex Garland like piss people off or something? Is he not cool
probably?
with the Academy?
If you told me Alex Garland has a shitty relationship with the Academy, it would not surprise me. Like he's an interesting cat, but
I think the same thing happened to like Annihilation, like 0 nominations. I think
Insane.
That makes me think even more that they just don't they just refuse to put him on there.
Men wasn't up for Best Picture. Come on, like Men Fender.
I'm gonna say it again. I say it all the time. British white men, the most persecuted people on this planet. I think
Till next year when Danny Boyle wins Best Everything.
28 years later. Oh yeah. Well, Garland can ride on his coattails again, right?
Hell yeah.
All right, let's get to Best Picture here. So me and Kayla will have a top 10 ranking. Mike will have a top 5 ranking.
I have 6.
Oh, he's got 6.
Actually.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. That's better. That's one more than I'm gonna hit that button there. So there we go. All right, he's got a top 6. I'm keeping a spreadsheet. You guys can't see it, but I got it here. Should Kayla and I do our bottom 4 and then we'll all do our top 6 from there?
Yeah.
That makes sense, right? Do you want to go first or second, Kayla?
You go first.
Okay. All right. I want to preface this by I really enjoyed this movie. However, I've seen this movie before, done better on the stage. So my number 10 is Wicked. Love all those songs. I think Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande killed it. But there was just nothing new here. I have a version of this story, these songs, these characters, etc. in my head, and it's the stage play, which I've seen twice. Love it. It's great. And the movie's also good. Go check out the movie. But it's my number 10.
Here, here.
My number 10 is The Brutalist.
Okay.
Oh, brutal.
Here's a long time quote by yours truly. I don't like watching stuff that are about shit people doing shit things over and over and over again. That's what that movie is. 3 hours of just uncomfortable shit stuff that I don't like watching.
Give it the credit it's due. It's
Mike is like, yeah.
it's 3 hours and 20 minutes of everything you just said.
Yes.
They even built in a 1 minute intermission into the film that we bought. So that's fun.
It is. I wish I could see that story without like the shit that they decided to show. The shit side of it. Like, I want to see a story of like the architecture come here and find America and get his family here, and nope, but he just wants to keep doing heroin, so I guess that's what we'll watch.
A few song and dance numbers.
I did. I would have much rather that instead of just like feeling like I was fucked up the entire movie. And I don't like that feeling, so.
Number 10, Brutalist.
Brutalist.
It was a brutal watch. It was a brutal watch for me. It's not for me. Adrian Brody was great. Felicity Jones was great. Guy Pearce was great, but it was like, I was like, nope, I'm just gonna watch my phone during this because I don't want to watch what's happening right now. Is it over? Okay. Nope, he's just still like strung out. We're just gonna watch him be strung out for a while. Like, okay, it's not over yet. Just gonna keep looking at my phone. All right, now he's just stumbling around. Okay, now he's having interesting conversations. Okay, but he's still fucked up the whole time he's doing it. And I don't like it.
I honestly felt the same about Wicked. You know, all those scenes of Elphaba just getting fucked up. It's tough.
Fucking taking shit down. Green. That's what Elphaba's doing.
Yeah, that's how she got green,
down
man.
With the patriarchy, bitch.
No, I get it, and I'll
gravity bombs. You know?
All right, we need to workshop this and get this weeded. We'll workshop it. We'll play with it. Yeah, we'll play with it. All right, not to be too down.
Wanna get a bubbler.
It's good. There you go. All right. Oh boy. Well, I guess on
I'm
this
down for those kind of drugs. Those drugs are cool.
On this very musical episode of the Machine of Nonsense, I will rank another musical as my number 9. Amelia Perez is my number 9. I also want to say I more or less enjoyed this movie. It's a very odd movie. I always appreciate someone going for it, and this is a going for it ass movie. This is a Spanish language musical, trans rights drug cartel movie, right? That's all of the things that this movie is, and
unsolved crime, like solving, body finding family.
True crime kind of
Saving.
tale. Yeah, you're right. There's
Got a
some
lot.
there's some cool music in this movie. There's some good performances. But it doesn't quite it shoots for the moon and it lands but not where it wanted to land, I think. So I as a thing to just like, hey man, you want to get high and watch something weird, Amelia Perez is good for that, I think. And if you like, and that song El Mal should get Best Picture, I think. That's a fun song. I like that song a lot. But number 9 for me is Emilia Perez. What's your number 9, Kayla?
9 for me is The Substance.
Aha.
For you?
I don't like being fucked up. I don't like it.
Yeah.
I like I'm glad Eric and I had a little bit of conversation like kind of weeks after we watched it. I can't really remember exactly what you said, but it was enlightening where I was like, "Oh, okay. I don't hate it." The bottom of my list is kind of like Eric is prefacing the bottom of his list saying he liked these movies. I didn't like these movies. I didn't like The Brutalist. I don't like The Substance. I also was like, nope, not watching what's happening right now. She is like, she is like a cocoon coming out. What the fuck?
Yeah.
I
was so cool.
I was actually I didn't hate this movie because I was a little more I thought it was going to be a lot worse than it was. Going into it, I knew there was going to be body horror and I was like, ugh, that's going to suck. I'm not going to be into this at all. It wasn't that bad, but I just don't like feeling that way. I don't like feeling the way of the insecurity and maybe I'll let Eric talk about The Substance when he gets to it because he articulates it much better. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. That's very nice of you.
I didn't.
Very nice of you to say that. I enjoyed having that conversation, that post-mortem conversation a couple weeks back about it because it made me think about it more, and I think it brought it a little higher on my list than it was maybe before we talked about it.
I probably could have done that, but it's hard to make the list. It is what it is.
Yeah, the list's the list, man. All right. My number 8 is the film Conclave. There wasn't a movie on this list that I didn't enjoy for, one way or another. So I enjoyed Conclave. I think Conclave is just one of those just solid 7.5 out of 10 kind of, they used to make a lot of Conclave type movies and I always kind of dug them, in the mid 90s through mid 2000s. You would get a handful of these with good actors, big stars, solid dialogue, interesting little mystery things going on, but the stakes at the end of the day were fairly small, I guess, unless you really care about the Pope or something. We're not talking wild sci-fi or anything super interesting, and that's why it's a little low on my list. I just think there's way more interesting stories being told higher on my list. And Conclave, was just a solid all around movie. Love my boy Tooch.
Tooch.
Yeah, I'm always on the Tooch train. Yeah, good cast. I like the cast a lot. I think me and Kayla have been talking a lot about John Lithgow recently and our appreciation for just him as an actor.
Dumbledore.
Yeah, he's going to be Dumbledore.
I am in full support.
Gross.
Full support.
Oh, okay. I'm not. No, thank you.
I like it.
Cool.
I like it.
So Conclave's my number 8. What about you, Kayla?
My number 8 is Honora.
Okay.
I hate to repeat
Damn.
myself, but I hate watching movies about shit people doing shit things.
You're not gonna like a single Sean Baker film. They all are that.
Yes.
It's about
just
the
not-
ratchet,
it's just-
ratchetness.
Right. It's just not the mindset I like to get in. I can appreciate the performances, but they're just not things I enjoy particularly.
I feel you.
I liked and Yuri, is that his name?
Yura Borisov.
Euro. Yura. I really liked him up until the scene where they're like just the two of them watching TV and he becomes like a giggly, weird goof. And it like totally set me off. And that's like the whole turn of the movie for me. And I thought it would go somewhere that it didn't. So it just really did not land the plane for me either. So
I had similar thoughts on that scene and kind of where the movie wound up. We'll be hearing him soon. My number 7 is The Brutalist. I wanted to really love this movie. I mean, like, give me I love a long movie. I like the cast, and there's some great performances. I do think Brody's good. I really liked Felicity Jones. There's a character in it who doesn't speak for most of the movie as well, and I found her Zofia. I found her to be very interesting. I wanted to see like where her character went, and
who the fuck knows?
Yeah, and
who the fuck knows how it went there? It went there.
There's just a lot of, in my mind, there's just a lot of unanswered questions at the end. I wanted to feel more complete at the end of a 3 hour and 20-minute film, and I did feel like I didn't get the full story on some of these, this cast of characters.
You have no idea about like anything.
I needed a 4-hour cut, apparently. I don't know. But it's beautiful in some places. I get why it's like on cinematography, because it does some really like trippy things. That this is a character who's on heroin for a lot of this film, so you're following Adrian
Let him
Brody.
build our buildings, y'all.
And some of it's shots of, it's about architecture in a big way. Some of it's shots of brutalist architecture are really, really cool. It is a tale of, it's an immigrant's tale coming to America in at the end. It is, but it once again, I felt incomplete in that realm too. There's better movies about an immigrant's tale to America. There's lots of them, and there's it's been done better.
The only thing that makes it an immigrant's tale is that he speaks with an accent and has to like come by himself first and then get his family there. That's the only reason that it's an immigrant's tale. It has nothing to do with his work. He doesn't get like treated like, he doesn't get like, get out of here because you're an immigrant. He just makes it known he has a problem with it.
It's weirdly unsubtle. A lot of these movies will show like,
I don't like it.
It will show the discrimination and stuff like that from the point of view of the discriminators, right? You'll see angry mobs or whatever else, or just people being shitty to people of color, or people from foreign places, or people with accents, whatever. This Adrian Brody tells you like that he's being discriminated more than any other character does. So it's odd. It's odd in that sense. So I get what you're saying.
Yet he's just fucked up all the time.
Yeah. So yeah, The Brutalist, a little disappointing. I still think there's a lot to like in that one. I now own it, so anyone want my Apple ID, I can just let you log in and watch The Brutalist. I had to buy it on Apple for $25 American. So that's The Brutalist. What's your number 7, Kayla?
Dune Part 2.
Whoa.
Only because it's
Shitty people
I
doing
like-
shitty worms doing shit. No.
no, only because it's just it was at this point it was kind of hard to make the list these last two, and then to me they're Oscar movies.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I have them sectioned in like Oscar movies, fun movies, movies I didn't like.
That's
That's
yeah,
kinda
I get
how
it.
my list is broken down.
Okay. So it's just the fact that this is like a blockbuster sci-fi kind of movie.
It's just the other movies are so much more of like acting performances. This is great, and the acting is not bad, but it for me, Dune is more of like the world
Baron.
and just all of it together, like the ensembleness, the world, not just the like acting and storytelling.
Wait up, I gotta take this call. It says it's Javier Bardem. Yeah, she said you weren't acting, man. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
You know how
man.
he pulls me in and terrifies me at the same time, so I gotta tread lightly.
No, I get it. I get the like segmentation of your list. That makes sense to me. I get it. Even though, as you will hear soon, I love Dune too.
I know. I got the Dune dudes here with me, but
Dooney
Dooney
Tunes. That's great. All right. So on to the portion of the list where we integrate Mike. Do you want to go first or last, Mike?
join in.
First.
Go.
First.
Yeah.
All right. What is your number 6 Best Picture movie?
Amelia Perez.
Sure.
Which I keep forgetting is nominated for Best Picture, apparently. That was the one I kept leaving out earlier. Just didn't work for me at all. And a movie that just made me think of a real pain, Love Lies Bleeding, stuff that got left out. Man, that would have been cool to see here instead, but
I like that thought.
it's just like one of those things of like, who made this? Like, what? What is this? What is this?
It's wild.
So not my favorite movie. That's my number 6 by default.
I feel you.
Probably would have been my number 10 had I seen everything, I would assume.
Kayla, do you want to we have been going me then you. Do you want to continue that? Okay.
You go.
So then Mike, me, you. Cool. All right. So my number 6 is Honora. I've yet to, this is my first Sean Baker film. I love the energy in this movie. I think Mikey Madison's just like mile a minute. I was hoping to like it as much as, like, in my mind, seeing the trailers and you know, hearing a little bit about Sean Baker and what he does and everything else. I was like, okay, is this going to be like Uncut Gems, but from like a woman's perspective, let's say? And it didn't hit that. I love Uncut Gems. I think that movie's amazing. This has a similar cadence, a similar like speed, similar like it's dark, but it's also quite funny. But it just didn't hit quite where I wanted to. And maybe it was unfair to expect one of my favorite movies of the last like 10 years, you know, that this would be similar. But I liked it well enough. It's my number 6, you know, out of 10. I enjoyed my time with it, and I think there were some good performances. Justice for Toros, I think.
My win tonight.
No. We'll see, and I'll be fine with that. I would feel fine with that happening, I guess. Your number 6, Kayla.
My number 6 is Wicked.
Ah,
because it's in here. Here are my 2 cinematic fun movies.
sure.
In the middle here. I really liked Wicked. I was thoroughly impressed with like the songs and the dance and all the people and the costumes, and I don't remember the stage play, so that didn't affect my watch. It was a lot of fun. I thought both Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande were just super impressive. How like tiny they are and how they can just belt out so strong these songs, goofy, and just I liked it a lot.
Hell yeah. Good stuff.
Wicked, number 6.
Wicked, number 6. Mike, your number 5.
My number 5 is Wicked.
Hey.
By default. Probably would have been my number 9. I'd seen all the 10. I'm not in the Wizard of Oz. I did think I was impressed with kind of the stage design, like the sets and things that they were trying to do. It seemed like they at least wanted a balance of green screen to real tangible shit, which I was kind of into. Yeah, that's, I don't know, just not for me. I don't like I like Popular. That song's all right.
Yeah,
Defying Gravity, I don't know. People are like, why do people like this song that much? People think it's like fucking the Bodyguard soundtrack.
It ain't Popular. It ain't as good as Popular.
And
It's good.
yeah, I don't know. People like it. It's cool. I thought it was going to be a complete kind of like train wreck kind of thing. It's cool that
I did too.
Satisfied fans. And yeah, that's my number 5.
Excited for part
Wicked.
2, I'm sure you are. I'm glad you mentioned the set design. The one the rotating like library choreography and shit. That was cool. That was really fun.
That was
that was
cool.
one thing they do not have in the stage play, and that's
when I
dope.
was like, whoa, that looks like so much fun.
Some Cirque du Soleil shit. Yeah. That was good.
I like that song too.
Yeah. All right. My number 5. We're into the top 5 here. Well, Mike already did his top 5, so of course we are. I am on number 5 is I'm Still Here. A unique viewing experience once again on this one. I'll check it out again in a more, less interesting kind of laying on my back scenario, but just a really powerful. So if you're not familiar with this movie, it takes place during the time in which Brazil was under a military dictatorship. It kind of shows the plight of a family. A former congressman is like abducted early on in this film, and his wife has to kind of pick up the pieces. They have a very large family. They got like 6 kids or something. The
military comes into their house and is just like hanging out.
Yeah.
They just like take the dad to go in he's got to come answer some questions.
Right.
No, we're going to stay here.
So
the kids are all like, the fuck? Who are these guys? Where's dad?
Yeah. So the Fernanda Torres, who plays the main character in this film, she has to balance, like, she has to do a lot of work in this movie because she's at points very fiery when she's dealing with, like, she's trying to find answers, like, where's my husband? I have to, like, she gets abducted at one point in this film and has to deal with interrogation and shit like that. But also she has to be like
torture,
tender to her children and not let on too much. Like, she has to keep up hope that, like, yeah, dad's gonna come back. It's fine. Like, he's on business is like the, initial thing that she tells the kids, because they're ranging in ages. Some of them are like teenagers and some of them are like 5 years old or whatever.
Right. So there's a balance there too, where they're like, not in front of the kids.
Yeah,
you can't do that. Everything is fine.
She's got to tell the older kids to, like, not let on to the younger kids and stuff like that. It's incredibly emotional and affecting. It's a true story. It's based on a memoir. These people actually existed. This congressman and his wife and everything else.
You're just scratching the surface of the story.
Super minor spoiler. She gets a law degree at 48. and goes on to do a lot of amazing things with that degree. The rest of the family does some amazing things. You find out kind of, you see 3 different time periods. You see the time period of when this is all
Abduction.
taking place, the abduction, the military coup. You see kind of a middle portion where what happens afterwards, essentially, and then you see a final portion at the very end of the film where there's a kind of a touching moment in that, but you see the final, days of the main character and stuff.
But
Essentially,
did you finish Say Nothing?
I did. I love it.
I did not.
It feels very much like Say Nothing in Brazil and
Yeah.
Portuguese, like, because then
Okay.
there's like the military or the IRA is like, or they're kidnapping people and killing them. People are going missing, and this person gets justice for people. Also, this storyline happens in Amelia Perez. Like, it's kind of weird. Oh wait, also the storyline happens in Nickel Boys. Oh, it's kind of
Yeah,
weird.
it's kind of like we suck as
Lots of dead
humans,
bodies.
right? Yeah, it's
Lots
kind
of
of
dead bodies.
like humans suck, I think.
Wait, isn't Jesse Plemons guarding a mass grave? Yep, he sure is.
Oh, in the movie that was snubbed for all awards. I get it.
Many mass graves in Dune 2 as well.
It's true. Very true. Man.
Wow.
The year of mass graves, 2024. That's ominous.
Yeah.
Kayla, you're number
Don't get me
5.
started on Conclave.
yeah. Ooh.
My-
Largest grave of them all, the All-Father.
My number 5 is Amelia Perez. Yes, my number 5 is Amelia Perez.
That's all you have to say. Oh.
I just had to count and make sure I was right because I don't have numbers on mine for some reason. My list. When I watched the movie, I was like, "What? Look at all this shit! It's crazy! It's just is doing like this and that and music and this storyline and that storyline. There was so much happening in this movie, and I liked it. But other movies also were good. So this is like now my chunk of Oscar movies here. It's my my number 5 of the movies I feel are actual Oscar movies.
Yeah, I remember talking to you after we got done with this one, and I just I felt like I was like, I think Kayla really dug Amelia Perez. Like,
I did.
Yeah.
I did. Like when I watched it, this was one of the first movies of the Oscars that we watched. So I really liked that song. It was just so like, it felt really fresh to me. It felt so different from anything that I've ever watched. So I liked it.
oh yeah. I think it's kind of like Mike said earlier about Wicked. It felt like, man, this could have been a complete train wreck. And, maybe some people do think it is, but
Right.
but I left it not feeling like, this is shit. Like I didn't enjoy I was like, oh yeah, it's pretty solid, overall.
Yeah.
So,
It's like, yeah, get justice for those people.
good stuff.
The train ran through a couple things, for maybe not a complete disaster.
It
But
kept going.
there
No,
was-
it didn't
there was
stop.
collateral
Oh, it hit
damage.
some people. It ruined lives.
I
Yes,
agree.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And look, hey, I'll what's Sophia
Gascon. Carla
Gascon,
Sofia
and,
Gascon.
is a piece of shit, so it went all the way down to the bottom.
True that. Good
All right,
stuff.
top 4.
Top
Here we go.
4, Mike.
Mike.
My number 4 is Conclave.
Hey.
I think Eric said it well. Like, we used to get a ton of these. I really dug just the whole conceit of, fuck, we have to find a new pope, and all of the little backstabbings and dealings that transpire. And I thought Ray Fiennes really navigated that well. I kind of wanted more of his struggle with his own faith. Kind of. He does mention it a bit, but
Mhm. I can't be the Pope. I don't really think it's appropriate.
Right. Appropriate. And then
Hey.
uh, the whole twist at the end, I don't know that we have to spoil that, but kind of, it catches you off, by surprise for sure, I think,
Yeah.
whether you like it or not. I don't think I loved it. But I don't know. It's not like a Spotlight or a Midnight Mass, because Selena brought up to me, he's like, you love like religion shit. And I kind of do. I like doubt and things like that. I like religion being kind of held under scrutiny. And all the other side of that too, the good part of it, parts maybe. So yeah, Conclave was something I dug, and probably could have stuck around in top 5. I think maybe if I had seen everything.
Nice. Yeah, well, I think Kayla probably agrees with you on that one. I'll do my number 4 though. The Substance was my number 4. Just a cool ass concept, and Kayla had mentioned we had a good conversation a little bit after we had like several probably weeks after we watched it or whatever else. And I said I think it's 2 movies. There's the like really beat you over the head, like Hollywood sucks and it forces women to like take drugs and be on top, and only from the age of 15 to 25, and then they're discarded. There's like that's the what this movie is kind
Quaid
of.
was so gross.
Yeah, Harvey, Dennis Quaid's character. Yeah. So that shit kind of beats you over the head, and it's fine, like that aspect of it, but I loved the other aspect of like your young self taking from your old self. That's what I really like the everything that Quali was doing.
My posture.
You're right. Yeah, everything that Quali was doing. Like to me, it's like an analogy for doing drugs as a young person, or just going hard in any way, shape, or form. And regretting that later on in life, like the toll that can take on your body, on your relationships to others, etc., and stuff like that. That was really affecting for me. And that aspect of the movie is what I like. So that's what I've thought about, like after the movie. As I was watching it, it's like, okay, cool. There's some cool body horror stuff. This is a weird movie. Demi's going all out. Cool, fine. It was probably lower on my list initially, and then as I'm like really digging in and thinking about it, I'm like, yeah, that's affecting to me, just like the what we do as a young person, kind of coming back maybe to bite us as a little.
You
bit
are
older
one.
person. Yeah, you are one, right? Yeah, that's yeah.
Hell yes.
So, I
like that.
I that went from like a 7 or 8 on my list to 4 now. The Substance for me, just thinking about it long term,
which is effective. It just is one of those things that it makes me uncomfortable, so I don't like it.
It's it's a challenging movie, right? Like it's a movie that fucking teeth scene. Mike warned me. There's some teeth shit.
That's nothing.
Yeah, that's your
that
big
I got.
Give us a smile.
God.
Ew.
Oh,
that part I don't like.
Oh. All right, Kayla, what's your number 4?
Conclave.
Oh, look at that. We got a double
is my number
up.
4. I really dug it too. I thought it's just one of those things that you can just listen to. While you were talking, Mike, I was like, it's like Game of Thrones when Game of Thrones was good. Like you're just like eagerly, like everybody's got something going on. You're trying to figure out what they're doing. So good. Man, I like Lithgow. He's good in the Crown.
Ooh, okay.
So I'm excited to see him as Dumbledore.
He was just such a little fucker in this one.
Oh my God.
I don't know.
I said that, and then yes, I think I said that before we watched this, and then I was like, yeah, he was pretty good in this. Have you seen the trailer for that little?
Oh, what is it? Penny something? Oh, what is it? Man.
He is like in a old folks home with other old folks and has this like doll puppet thing and is like fucking kooky and is like peeking in on people, and you're like following another older gentleman who hasn't acted in a long time.
Jeffrey Rush is the other
Jeffrey Rush.
character.
And he's like, no, guys, he's crazy. And they're like, no, you're just old. And he's like, no, he's trying to kill me. And he's like, hee hee. Like, weird.
It's called The Rule of Jenny Penn. So go ahead and watch that trailer. It is, it's something.
Okay. Interesting.
John Lithgow's just like doing things, I guess. Conclave, though. I liked that you brought up this was something that we did used to get a lot, and I'm into that.
Yeah, it felt like it was 1997 or something, and we're just getting a lot of like political dramas and shit like that. Like, but I like your Game of Thrones comp too.
Acting has only gotten better, you know. So,
man, hot take.
There's some really good current actors, you know.
Timothy Chalamet, he's the greatest of all time. You know, it's.
That's a
wants to be.
That's a bold statement.
Wants to be Michael Phelps of acting.
Hell yeah. So he's gonna smoke a lot of weed. Got it. Cool. All right, we are up to the top 3. Mike.
Yes. Kayla has brought a change to my top 3 when speaking of the ending of this film, and I think it does bump it down a little bit. And my number 3 is Anora. I really, based on the second half, I really dig that just once Toros is introduced and that wild scene where he has to just leave. He is the priest in the middle of a baptism, and he is involved in such shady shit that he has to put a pause on his main thing, you know what I mean? So
it's good.
And the wacky madcap shit that happens with this gang of Russian mobsters or whatever, and this little 5'0" girl, you know, who whoops the shit out of all of them.
Yeah.
I like that stuff. I like a lady going crazy. That part is all good. It's just.
Yeah, what the movie winds up wrapping up to be just kind of left me flat. I don't know. I didn't know what to think.
From that couch scene on, I'm like, what the fuck? You were badass. Now what the fuck is happening? Like,
yeah, found love in a hopeless place. I don't know. And the beginning part, I really didn't like the Russian kid, the one that she marries. I forget his name, but
yeah,
that guy just bothered me. He was really annoying, which I think that's what Sean Baker's going for. Just I guess that's what a Call of Duty bro is like. I guess I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. Sean Baker makes great movies, and I really like this one. But I had to give it a bump because I think my previous 3 is a more solid film, front to back.
Ooh, I love the tease. All right. So my top 3, number 3 is A Complete Unknown. I really dug this movie a lot. I like the music. I'm not a Bob Dylan guy. I have very little. I know Rolling Stone. That's I think maybe the only Bob Dylan. Well, I guess they play "Blowing in the Wind" a lot in this, so I know that song. But but yeah, not a Dylan guy. You never really checked out his music or his life or anything else. I know he's beloved. He's been making music for 50 years and he's got a Nobel Prize and shit. So I think now I get it. I think maybe now
Nobel Peace Prize, right? Is there a difference? Is there multiple kinds? I don't know.
There's a bunch of different ones. I think his is for like literature. I think the Nobel Prize for literature, I think, is like specifically the
Medal of Freedom.
Oh, and a Medal of Freedom. So yeah, I mean, everyone loves Bob Dylan. I didn't know the aspect of like he's kind of an asshole in this movie. Like he's kind of like stuck on himself and like just they really dig into I think it's in some parts it's like an unflattering portrayal of like who this dude was, at least at that time. That he's kind of like faking a lot of his like shit, his persona and his whatever. And I think it's done really well. I think people call him on his shit from Jonah Baez to like Sylvie Elle Fanning's character, and he kind of doesn't have an answer for a lot of it. He just kind of is like, fuck it, I'm cool, like whatever you guys say, I'm gonna go ride my motorcycle, and I dig that.
Quit
I think
fucking questioning me.
Yeah, I think it's very human. Like it's like it makes him seem human as opposed to like this superhuman. He's cool and everyone just got to deal with it. It's like no, everyone's like calling him on his shit, and he's like, all right, fuck off. I'm gonna run away and make music. Like
he just gets up and walks out.
Yeah, and I dug it. I think it worked. The music's really
just
good.
Keep playing.
I'm like, man, I think I'm a Joan Baez fan now because I really liked all her music in the movie. I thought Ed Norton was great. He was just so like warm and just like trying to like he just loves the music and he loves Woody Guthrie and he just wants to just keep folk
It's just a dad.
alive.
Hates electricity.
He hates electricity. Yeah, it's done nothing but bad for all of us. And I don't know. I just this was maybe the most surprising movie for me. I think a lot of these I went in with a lot higher. I was like, Complete Unknown. It's probably going to be your a solid biopic or whatever else. And it was much more than that for me. I really liked it. I really liked it.
I can't wait to see this movie. I still haven't. I kind of hope they can do like a Linklater thing, and 20 years from now, Timmy is a different era of Bob, and 20 years after that,
that'd be really cool.
That would be cool.
I would, because this is kind of the era that is most well documented of his life, and kind of there's a lot about this time, and I would want them to just keep going till whenever Bob dies.
Yeah.
Right. I mean,
yeah, it's a kind of a small period of time. Like it's only maybe 5 years in this this cut of his life and stuff. So yeah.
Man. But all right.
Number 3 for you, Kayla.
My number 3 is I'm Still Here.
Mm-hmm.
I was just captivated. It was just brutal, but in a good way. Like this as a movie that is about something that's really heavy, it also is really uplifting, and I don't really want to say heartwarming, but like just it is like the part of being human that makes you feel good. You're like, oh, okay, there is good. Like, fuck those people. Like, look at them and their life. And it kind of, Eric, I kind of feel like he misspoke. It actually shows like 4 points of time.
Oh, does it?
There's even like how I do feel it. We even said it's a little unnecessary ending point of time that has a nice sentimental time, but it's a little unnecessary. But
yeah,
but it wasn't long or anything. But just the movie is long. How long is that movie?
2.5. Yeah,
that movie was pretty long too, and I loved it, but it is long, and it is like lots of parts of the like. You see a lot, so it explains. I don't know. It's
trying to
heavy,
tell that full story, right? It's like it is from like it's this family's kind of the whole story, right? Like I mean,
and
the
there's
whole
so
lifetime
many of them.
kind of.
The casting is
Trying to
fantastic.
get it right. Yeah.
It's also like Eric said, there's like 6 kids, and they fucking all look alike. You can tell who's who. Like
It is good casting.
it's good.
Wow.
Because you see them at multiple different ages, so they like recast, an older version of the same character, and they did well. You're like, oh,
They
yeah,
just do a really good job of like saying who it is, so you can follow along. They do. There's a lot of just like quiet moments too of them just like showing stuff, and I'm gonna say that again here in a little bit, but just like showing what was found, what the historic like meaning it has, impact it has had. I'm still
Nice.
here. Good stuff.
That one has been really hard to see until like very recently.
Yeah.
I think so. Hats off to you guys for.
Yeah, we had to get the Cuddle Lounger. That was the only way to see that film. Oh,
We didn't run into Josh Lyerla at Burger Brews. And
Oh, you went there.
we did before the film. Yeah.
Man,
their chili is really good. Get that.
I will. Fuck yeah. All right.
Number 2, Mike.
All right. My new number 2 is The Substance.
Mm-hmm.
I mentioned just earlier a better front to back thing. I think that whole star on the Walk of Fame thing just works so well, that full circle kind of thing.
I like it.
So good.
And yeah, just how women get chewed up and spit out in this industry, but also how we kind of dispose of old people, like, young Margot Qualley, just keeping her in that fucking weird bathroom closet and and draining, and just the way they make that fucking wound like just look like
So gross.
I don't know, the origin of life came out of that primordial ooze that she's taking out of the back of Demi Moore. And also the big the big stuff is the prosthetics and everything, but also the little, just the notes, the "you are one," the little thing, the mysterious stranger on the phone, the little weird fucking shutter that she has to crawl under to get this drug. I don't know. It's just like a Twilight Zone episode blown up into a cool, weird movie, and just really well done. I don't know, the fucking Pizza the Hut monster at the end. And just how it gives, and it's so gross, it gives birth. Selena and I bring it up all the time, this titty monster, little bit titty umbilical cord baby. And that's what the women in Hollywood are. They're just born to grow into new pairs of tits, basically. That's what it is. Like,
wow.
And I don't know, it's gross and genius and at times, and to me, like, the grossest scene is that whole the young Margot Qualley, they start one-upping each other, trying to screw each other over, and just that table of carcass food is so fucking gross. And she's freaking out because she knows that she's gonna have to pull another fucking rib bone out of her belly button, or it's, oh gosh, it's slapstick at times. It's incredibly gnarly at times, and prescient as well, I think. So
yeah, it does a lot of different stuff too.
Yeah,
like I felt like that. There's movies here that just are so like different. Like I felt that way about this. I felt that way about what did I say earlier?
Emilia Perez, definitely.
Emilia Perez.
Yeah, without a doubt.
So
yeah, shout out to
like,
Mubi.
they go for it. They just go for it
Yeah.
and good.
Yeah, a little French film that
Wild.
good. Um, yeah, that's my number 2.
Yeah,
The Substance.
Cool flick. All right. Most of the year, my pick was Dune 2. It got dethroned recently, and I'll talk about that. But Dune 2, I love this movie. It's as good as any sci-fi movie that I've ever loved. It's as good as like a Star Wars. You know, I'm a huge Star Wars fan. I love everything that it's doing in that realm of sci-fi. Love this ensemble, this cast of characters. Like Christopher Walken's in it for 5 minutes, and he's memorable, you know. And Bardem is a wild, kooky dude, and Chalamet's good. Zendaya's good. I just love how Rebecca Ferguson's amazing. She's my favorite character in this movie. It's just it's so big and epic in scope. I don't know how Denis like makes somehow like these movies look way better than anything we've got from like the MCU recently or from, you know, Star Wars recently or any big budget CGI movie. This looks better, and he does it on slightly like smaller budgets. Like all of the big movies do it for 200 plus million, and he'll do it for like 120 or, you know, 140 or something. And they just somehow just his sense of style and place and everything else is just the colors, the weird like contrasting colors, just does it better, does it the best out of anyone who's doing
a simple style too.
The palette is
like simple but powerful.
It is. Yeah. And love it. Love the battle. Like he's the GOAT. He probably is right now in terms of like what he's doing, like these sci-fi, you know, interesting things. I can't think of anyone better right now.
Ripley.
I mean, he's old now, you know. Denis still young buck.
There's
a
better gladiator scene in this movie than the gladiator.
Sure,
sequel.
right? Yeah, I'm happy. I'm glad you mentioned, you know, Ridley Scott. I do feel like he's passing the stone to Denis in a big way. Like it's and that's great. That's wonderful that I get to live in both of their lifetimes.
Stuff, though, isn't he?
That's fine, and I'll keep watching his stuff.
What is that new show coming out with him?
Yeah, right? What was that? Yeah, the Ridley Scott. Yeah. But anyway, let's not talk too much about Ridley Scott. Denis needs his flowers. Dune 2 is amazing. I've seen it 3 times now. I love this movie. And it made one last thing that I want to say is it's the sequel that, in my opinion, made the first movie better. I appreciate the first movie more now that I've seen the second movie, and loved it.
Watch them again soon.
Hell yeah,
I'll do that. My number 2.
Yeah,
my number 2 is A Complete Unknown.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I thought Timothy Chalamet. This I got my tickets for Timothy Chalamet to this for sure. I thought. He learned to do, not that he hasn't tried to do this and that he hasn't done it well, but like he's just so quiet really a lot of the times. Like he really doesn't have a whole lot of dialogue. He pretty much just sings and has a couple little, I don't know, whiny moments with his women.
Hell yeah, he does.
Because because he's got to live somewhere, I feel like. What is he going to do? But I wouldn't even call, like, Eric kept calling him an asshole. I guess I didn't even fully take it on that way. He's just, my thought was like, how can somebody who's like so in touch with like poetry and literature and like understanding the world like have no understanding about what he's doing in his own life?
That's a good call.
Just so weird, but they do it well. Just funny, kind of. Like, Elle Fanning, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
She's really good.
Heard there's a
But
good Johnny Cash in there.
Yeah,
From Boyd.
it's
yeah.
Boyd Holbrook. Yeah, and he looks it's so weird to see him with black hair. Like that blue just he looks like a different person to me. Like
Hell yeah.
But so a lot of biopics, and especially a lot of like musical biopics, are also usually a lot of drugs and a lot of uncomfortable moments that, like you've heard already on this episode, are not for me. And this doesn't have that, so that it's even better for me. For a musical biopic, like, oh, there's just somebody who, like, they don't even really show him like drinking or anything. He's just like so self-absorbed that he doesn't like understand much except for like what he's looking at.
he just has to create. Yeah, like he just
Yeah.
has to, like, single-mindedly.
Right. It's just all he does, and they do that really well. Timothy Chalamet is just so like just internal, quiet. He goes and talks to the Willie. His name's not Willie. The
Pete?
guy in the hospital.
Oh, Woody Guthrie.
Woody.
Yeah.
Woody Guthrie.
Yeah.
Yes, Woody Guthrie. Like, it's just all, I don't know. It felt good. Like, you don't always, even though he was an asshole to his women, I just think they were stupid too, really.
Not in the way a lot of biopics would do it. You know, he's not slapping anyone around. He's not, you know,
Right.
like, yeah, like it's a different type of shitty. Like, he's a rock star, I think. Like, he's just like, but like, I don't know. Yeah.
They just keep coming back to each other. It's just one of those things of like, hey,
He's
I'm going out
blowing
of
her
town.
in, man.
Right.
Yeah.
You wanna get on my bike? And she's like, fuck yeah, I do. I wanna go hang out with Bob Dylan. Right.
Yeah.
Again. And then it's emotional and you're like, fuck, why did I do this? I wanna go. Damn. I'm stupid. And he's like, no, baby, don't go. It's cool. We can hang out. And you're like, fuck you, man. It's fun.
Good movie.
Man,
Yep.
I gotta see it.
All right. Our top one. Number one.
I guess me and Eric have the same one.
I guess
think
we
you
do.
guys will.
Yeah.
But my number one, and I don't know that any movie that I didn't see could have topped it, is Dune 2. I'm a Dooney dude.
Hell yeah.
Eric said this kind of holds up with any sci-fi epic ever, even with Denis' own when Blade Runner and Arrival. It's just as good as those. It has these huge, great set piece moments, but also an intrigue and a story to go with it, and big space opera moment, you know, where it goes out into, you know, what's happening on this, you know, spaceship
Giant
thousands
sets.
of miles away.
They're beautiful.
And I don't know. It has some of the coolest action ever from the guy who made Sicario, of course, and like knows his way around that.
There's a Dooney dude right there.
Yeah.
Yes. And to me, I liked the whole buildup of Paul Atreides, because it is like you do kind of start like the skeptics within the tribe of, is this guy, you know, the Messiah? And by the time he has that huge monologue where he's drunk in the worm juice and he's fucking, you know, he's Paul Atreides and he fucking says Dune, and it fucking makes you go, ah! And I fucking bought it, and he fucking kills fucking Fade Rafa, and he takes his woman, and he's gonna fucking save the universe. And he's gonna have to do hard shit to figure it out. And I don't know. Totally invested in this franchise, which I never thought I would ever say. And man, Dune forever.
Kayla's gonna be reading the book soon. It's exciting.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
All 15 of them. Fuck.
I think the core ones,
live
you know,
action.
because yeah,
Oh,
they've.
okay.
I know they've gone
There's
off
like
in some
4 or
of-
5 of the core ones, right?
Yeah, I think they consider like 5 of them to be the core, and really they
Has to be
consider
that.
like the first 3 to kind of be like that's what this story
Wrap
is
up
gonna be. Yeah,
Paul's
essentially.
story, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah,
Dune Messiah, I can't wait.
fuck yeah.
Phil, this summer, I'm going there.
Oh, so exciting. Yeah, Dune is.
They wouldn't even have to paint me white. I could just be Harkonnen. Like, come on, Denis. Savings.
You're gonna have to shave your whole head, but you know, I think.
Hell yeah, I'd do it.
Oh, what a film. Now I just want to leave and watch Dune. Okay. Mike said it. Nickel Boys. I hope it's not like recency bias, because this was our last film that we watched out of the 10, right,
We
Kayla?
watched it yesterday.
Yeah, but
Whoa, coming in hot.
coming in very hot. So, you know, I guess it's minor caveat there, but just an enthralling movie. It's Kayla kind of mentioned it. It's a POV movie. Like, it's shot in the first person mostly. Then there's also, we were trying to figure out like what you'd call the camera. It's kind of the over the shoulder RE like 4 camera at some points, where it's
Oh, cool.
it's like behind, you know, a person's back, so you see kind of their shoulders and their back.
Computer screen.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
You see what they're doing.
So they're like some of it's like that, and
their hair.
and the rest of it. So it's either like first person, this weird second person, let's call it, and then the rest is like a reflection, or like a reflection on glass or something to give you where the character is. Exactly, or what's going on. There's a lot of throughout the whole movie. There's these cool cut-ins of what's going on in the larger world, which is like, and it focuses a lot on the space race and us like getting to the moon, because this is all happening at the same time, and it's this wild juxtaposition because. If you don't know what Nickel Boys is about, it's based on a true story, a book that came out in 2019, I believe, about this academy down in Tennessee, I believe, where a bunch of mostly black, but also just other people of color, Mexican, Native American people, a reform school.
White area.
Right, but what I was getting at is like it's a reform school, a segregated reform school, where later on they found like a ton of atrocities were committed on these boys. So it's
mass graves.
It's sleepers, Mike. Essentially.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
it was like Sleepers or that episode of Res Dogs.
Yes, exactly. So it's that, but with this amazing way of telling a story. Like, so
it's like these two boys and they go back and forth. So you see like both of their point of view, both of the things that they've seen and gone through.
This is your number one as well, right, Kayla?
Yeah. I don't really want to say anymore. I don't. Okay. It's just,
from what I've heard, it's just a a new way of seeing a film, like how a film can be presented from a first-time maker, I believe, which is
first feature. Yeah, I think so. Ramel Ross, I believe, is his name.
Yeah.
It's it's not a headmaster because this is in America, but
yeah, I don't know that they give him a title. He's essentially the warden of this, like,
right?
Yeah,
Kevin Bacon.
Yeah, exactly. It's Hamish Patel from Midnight Mass.
Yeah.
And he's a son of a bitch.
That guy. He's a real son of a bitch. Oh no.
So like one of the boys, the boy you start with, like his mom dies, so his grandma's taking care of him. He's like a little boy, it's all sweet. She's like, cleaning up hotels and stuff, and they have like nice little moments growing and taking care of each other, and he's real smart, and he's gonna go to this like really smart college, and he's walking his way down to the school, like on the side of the road, and this guy picks him up, and this other black guy, you know, he's not feeling like he's getting attacked or anything. Guy's cool. The guy's a pimp, let me tell you. He's tripping. But then he gets pulled over, and of course,
what's going to happen in the 50s and, you know, at that time.
Even though this boy was like, I was just trying to walk to school, he also has to, that's why he has to go to this place. So he's like this super smart kid who decides to like write down what's happening, and that's how the story is being told.
Yeah. Sounds like a Dylan song. Man.
It feels like it, right, basically. And the wild thing is like they also like kind of by the end they make it fully known that like, yeah, this shit happened. Like you see some archival footage, you see some newspaper stuff, and
this also does like super quiet moments of just showing like belt buckles and teeth and like stuff that they were finding digging up and just mass graves, just like just a moment of silence
like
of them.
In that, man,
there's
what was
a
that
shoe
movie
scene. There's even a shoe scene.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's why I'm like, I feel like Kieran Culkin, like, oh my god, I just can't live.
Yeah.
So,
but yeah, amazing performance by Anjanou Ellis Taylor as well as the grandma, and wild ending. I will just say, like the ending I think is what capped it for me. Was like, yep, this is the one.
Pay
attention, because it can be disorienting. This like the change in perspectives and this first person point of view. It shifts. It's like they're passing
timelines shift.
You see the same scene twice because it's two like people from two people's point of view, like how video games do that sometimes. And yeah, I don't know, man. It's
telling lies.
It's a telling lies like exactly. Yeah, you're right.
I hated that
game. No, I think you'll dig this a lot. I think anyone who
really want to
sees
see it. Yeah,
it's
exciting.
It's good.
Movies. I thought it was a great movie year.
It was. Mm-hmm. It was. Mm-hmm. That's talking about it really locks it in, right? I'll go ahead and recap what we got here, so we can bounce. So Mike, his list in reverse order was Amelia Perez, Wicked, Conclave, Honora, The Substance, and Dune Part 2. Great list. Me, Wicked, Amelia Perez, Conclave, The Brutalist, Honora, I'm Still Here, The Substance, A Complete Unknown, Dune Part 2, and Nickel Boys. And finally, Kayla.
I can read mine.
Hell yeah, you can.
I'll read mine. It is The Brutalist, The Substance, Honora, Dune Part 2, Wicked, Amelia Perez, Conclave, I'm Still Here, A Complete Unknown, and Nickel Boys. I feel like it
Great
was
list.
Yeah, it was just a really moving a lot of the stories were very moving. It was a good year.
Yeah. I think that's the beauty of Best Picture. I think they do pick, like, at the end of the day, like, some of these are challenging movies. Some of them, like, maybe don't land and you don't love them or whatever else. But they're, like, they're moving, right? They're just, like, they're telling some stories. Each and every one of them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited for the broadcast. Can't wait to see it. It's going to be on Hulu streaming.
Hell yeah.
There's going to be glam bots. Watch for my guy. He's going to be looking fly. I love him. I'm a big fan.
Conan's hosting. I know Ryan. I spoke with Ryan yesterday. He's excited to see his boy Coco.
I like Conan.
There. Yeah, me too. So first time hosting for him, which I was kind of shocked to hear.
We watched the SAG Awards, and the Kristen Bell hosted that,
Mhm.
And let me tell you, it was a pretty fine hosting job.
Yeah.
I think she
good.
was pretty like stand backish. She was pretty
Not front and center too often.
didn't have a whole lot.
Okay.
She didn't
Yeah.
stand up there and talk all the time about stuff, you know. She did an intro, she sang a nice song, she had a couple little monologues, but so did other people, and then it was over. It was really nice. So I hope they kind of take note from that.
They're not doing musical performances.
I've heard
for the nominees.
Yeah, I've heard differing things. I think there's going to be a Wicked one, right? I think that was
Yeah, because how do you not do that? You have both stars nominated, both, they do huge songs from this thing. That would be weird.
That would be
to
weird.
not- yeah. I
Breaking
don't know.
news.
People want to sing songs. People want to see songs, live music.
Breaking news
enough of it.
overnight, we're not getting Harrison Ford. He was going to be presenting, but he's got the shingles. So
Ooh.
he had to
From SAG. He caught it. I saw him.
Kristen
eating.
Bell got him the shingles. Yeah.
Yeah.
Passed him a Pringle with the shingles. That's what she did.
Ooh, the Pringle shingles.
Shingles. So, long live Harrison Ford. All right. That's great. We did it, guys. We did episode 187, the big Oscars countdown episode. Hopefully you're listening to this and it'll end right when the red carpet begins. You can time it out, guys. You should time it out and do that.
Hell yeah.
Check out all of our content. We're at The Machine of Nonsense everywhere. Like, subscribe, do all those things. machineofnonsense@gmail.com. If you want to drop us a line, you could also drop us a line all over social media. We'd love to hear from you. Check out the Nonsense of the Year Awards 2024 on YouTube or your favorite podcast app. Say it again. We actually have the real best movies list. All right. We are
Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice.
We got the juice, baby.
Oh, all right. And with that, we conclude. What?
Did we say who do we think is really going to win the best picture?
Oh,
I get.
we didn't.
You're right.
We didn't.
Yeah, we. I
Stop the presses.
stopped the presses. I had a
quick.
whole outro.
We'll just make a quick rapid fire and then we'll be done.
Honora, right?
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say a complete unknown.
Whoa.
I'm gonna just put my cards
That would
out
be
on the
sick.
table.
Man, for our boy Mangold, that'd be awesome.
They like Mangold, I think. The Academy.
Logan didn't win best piece of art of all time. So
Dang.
they do not like him.
Who will the Academy pick?
Mhm.
What will the Academy pick? You think
Caleb,
Honora?
think
You
it's
think?
Brutalist.
Complete unknown.
I do.
Oh, you think?
I do think
Okay.
that the Brutalist will win.
Damn, that's a sad day. At least it was looking like Amelia Perez was going to win for a little while, I guess. So
Mhm.
I like
we
that
could have
movie
lived in
better,
that timeline.
Mike.
Holy shit! I don't know. Come on, that's not.
That'll be fun.
Yeah.
Check
it's-
Check Kayla's tweets, everyone. Check Kayla's tweets.
Man.
Right.
All
I
right.
hope Eric's right.
I don't feel a ton
do
of
too. I do
confidence,
too.
but maybe they
I do
ride
too.
that
That's what I want.
Chalamet train all the way home, I think.
Get on the Chalamet train and ride it.
And ride it.
All right, so we're going to ride the old Chalamet train into the sunset on episode 187 of the Machina Nonsense. We are getting out of here and saying A Complete Unknown is a good-ass movie. Goodbye.
Dooch, dooch.
Dooch, dooch. I love it.
I didn't mean to just
It was so
completely
good.
exit out,
Kayla
sorry.
just exited the Discord call.
I was like, yeah, end it.
Mic drop.